Hello and welcome to Stonehenge. From high priests to hippies, this megalithic marvel has been welcoming visitors for over 4,000 years. And today is the inspiration for our 3 remaining artists. Prepare for a monumental challenge. It's the grand final of Landscape Artist of the Year. For this, our 10th anniversary competition, 2,000 artists applied.
Have I painted a bridge before? No, I haven't, but there's a first for everything.
This is possibly one of the most daunting landscapes in Britain.
Now, after 6 heats and a semi-final, amidst some of the most stunning views the country has to offer, just 3 artists remain. Kieran Guckian, Susan Isaac, Ben McGregor. Our finalists are tantalisingly close to an extraordinary £10,000 prize commission. The winner will travel to the south of France and create a work to hang alongside those of the great Impressionists and Post-Impressionists, Monet, Van Gogh and Cézanne, in London's prestigious Courtauld Gallery. To win both today's painting and the finalists' commissions, landscapes they've completed in their own time, will need to impress our 3 judges.
You know, these artists, we really sort of cement their reputation, and it feels to me like our 10th ever winner needs to be extra special.
So the stone circle is waiting, and the final ritual is about to begin. The winner of Landscape Artist of the Year is... Shrouded in the early morning mist on Salisbury Plain, 3 pods are ready and waiting for our remaining artists. Irishman Kieran Guckian.
To be in the final is huge. I haven't been thinking about it too much because I didn't want to, freak myself out about, oh, you're in the final. I've watched this program for a long time. So to get here is, yeah, it's huge. It's huge.
Susan Isaac from Nottinghamshire.
This morning, arriving here, I'm feeling full of trepidation and excitement and nerves and everything else. Compared to the other heats, it really feels like the sort of ultimate moment.
And from Surrey, Ben McGregor.
If I won, it would absolutely mean the world. The whole reason I paint landscapes is because of the show, so it's a lot at stake. Wow, look at that.
That's
Oh my God. That's cool, isn't it?
Amazing.
Look at it.
It potentially looks easy, but I don't think it is.
No,
Yeah.
to make something of it.
Yeah.
Through the blanket of morning fog, today our finalists find themselves face to face with perhaps the world's most celebrated prehistoric monument, Stonehenge. Its famous structure, the remains of a ring of enormous vertical sarsen stones topped with horizontal lintels, stands directly in front of the pods, rising from a grassy plateau which, for now at least, is largely hidden in the haze.
10 years, the final. I mean, it's the culmination of so much hard work. What can I say? We've got 3 brilliant artists. We're at the most iconic location in the country. We think we know these stones. You know, we see them everywhere. They're reproduced everywhere. But actually, our artists today need to help us see them anew. It's the beginning of the day. The mist has descended, but during the day, it's going to rise and it's going to be glorious.
I've never been here. I've always wanted to come here. But actually, it's a very complex group of stones, objects, patterns. So yeah, I think it's going to be an interesting day.
I think what's difficult about the view is the stones are standing in a void almost, just the sort of plain. So it's going to be hard to figure out how to give it a sense of scale, really.
I think Stonehenge is quite close to what I would usually paint, so it's just organic forms, grass, rock, sky. But I'm feeling tons of pressure right now, yeah, I'm nervous as hell.
While the mist continues to burn off and before their final challenge begins, the artists have been granted the rare privilege of spending some time inside the stone circle.
It feels rather awe-inspiring to be in the middle of this megalith. It feels quite special. At the moment, I'm mapping out the sarsen stones in front of me to get a feeling of their shape, which is quite particular to each one.
So I'm just doing a quick sort of oil sketch. I'm preferring up close, I think, to the zoomed out, only because I just think the zoomed out view is so recognisable. I've never been here before, it's the first time, so it's amazing to be like here in this context.
There's a really interesting feeling in here. Like, there is definitely an atmosphere in here. Like, there's forests of lichen grown on them. You can feel it's ancient. To be painting Stonehenge and to get to come inside is pretty special, yeah, it's cool.
Size, it's a square.
Artists, I hope you're feeling prepared for the task ahead. You have around 90 great big stones to paint and only 4 hours in which to do it. Your time starts now. As the first of Stonehenge's visitors begin to trickle in, and some more familiar faces also take a closer look at the stones, our first finalist is fully focused on the gravity of the challenge ahead.
What I'm hoping to put into this composition is a sense of the weight of the stones, the sort of weightiness of history. But I've never painted anything quite so ancient as this, or quite so iconic, so that's going to be an interesting challenge today.
As a former archaeological illustrator, Susan Isaac is drawn to historical scenes and first took part in the competition in 2022. Her submission depicted a passageway at Cambridge University, while in her heat at London's St Pancras Basin, she turned her attention to the old Victorian gas holders.
It's got a strange sort of dark historical heft to it, and I think it comes from the power of the black line and the drawing.
In the semi-final at Portsmouth's historic dockyard, Susan's dramatic impasto style and evocative palette saw her sail into the final.
I mean, it's crude, but it's also very, very clever. And it's like the thing is vibrating with power and energy.
Susan, we're used to seeing drama, energy, already getting that. We've got this amazing burnt orange beginning. Talk to me about how you've sort of come up with this composition.
I'm very spotty, so I've done quite a bit of research into the background of the stones and the site. So I'm conscious of the weightiness, the history, the prehistory, the fact that the sense of the stones is so sort of solid and timeless. So I've zoomed in a bit to the right-hand side to give it a sense of the scale of the stones.
Yeah, so you want to kind of get to grips with that prehistoric quality.
Yes. So other things will move, the clouds will move, the grass, the shapes will change with the light, but the solidness of the stones is the important bit.
So the plan is I'm just focusing on one area where the landscape behind is coming through. My eye is really drawn to that. And I think I can get that down now in the next, half an hour, and then should be feeling better after that.
Dubliner Kieran Guckian embarked on a career as a full-time artist just a year ago. He entered the competition with a portrayal of a ravine in County Wicklow, and faced with a comparable landscape at Avon Gorge, impressed the judges with his narrative and subdued tones.
I'm lost in the story that sits around it. The observation of light and colour, I think, is really impressive.
Faced with a very different proposition in Portsmouth, Kieran's approach was just as successful, earning him a place in today's final.
He's really conjured this beautiful sky behind it that really feels like it's moving. And there's a kind of fluidity to the clouds that's so believable.
Kieran, I was really excited when I knew we were coming here, for our 10th anniversary. But then the more I thought about it, the more I thought it's actually really hard for an artist because it's so represented, from table mats to tea trays. How do you stop it from becoming a cliche?
I guess just by focusing in on a certain area that I'm interested in and just zooming in a little bit on it, just so I'm not doing the whole thing. I really, really like the way the landscape is in the background. I love that. It's like, it's in the distance, but it's really punching through that pole. I really want to get some of the landscape in, to be honest, just to show where it's sitting.
The little views through.
Yeah.
I've decided to do a view inside the stones rather than sort of set back, looking at them. For me, it's just about trying to create as interesting an image as possible.
A semi-finalist in 2020, Ben McGregor has spent the last few years developing the impressionistic style displayed in his submission of a Wiltshire country lane. At Hampton Court Palace, his imaginative, semi-abstract painting saw him through as heat winner.
It feels weird and organic and psychedelic, but it's very well thought through and structured.
In Portsmouth, although Ben avoided the main view of HMS Warrior, his characteristic mark-making again enchanted the judges.
You believe his passion for this pier and the struts there, where he gets into that decaying concrete. I could look at that all day.
Ben, I'm looking at the stones and I'm looking at your composition and I realise you've made this up.
Well, I haven't quite. It was from our trip round this morning.
Ah, OK.
So for me, I really wanted to do something that was much more sort of inside.
Yes, it feels like
themselves, where you could really feel kind of the magnificence of them, really.
I mean, they are wonderful, but their size is difficult to comprehend unless you go
inside. Exactly.
Yes, it suddenly becomes overwhelming and church-like and sacred. It's kind of interesting that that's what you're looking for, this sort of enclosedness of it all. And now, like the moss and the lichen, you're sort of working your way across the surface.
Yeah.
Very slowly.
Slowly, sort of rock by rock.
The artists this morning started in shock and awe that they're at Stonehenge and they were wandering through these ancient objects. I mean, it's just extraordinary seeing their faces.
But I think they're all feeling a bit like me, quite zen.
Yeah.
And I just think we're so lucky today.
I know.
We've got three such distinct styles.
One thing that's interesting, though, that does unite them is no one has given us the zoomed-out expanse of Stonehenge, the touristic silhouette in the landscape.
And I think that's partly because they quickly understood that to do that whole view is the chocolate box. That's the jigsaw puzzle. You don't need to do that.
What I really hope is that, like, Susan goes, like, full solstice mania, like something really dramatic and crazy.
Totally expecting
Ben's going to go, like, spiritual and folkloric, and then Kieran's going to be, like, filmic and weird and uncanny, and, like, something's going to happen. Yeah. I'm really excited. I think this is just one of the most thrilling locations we've ever been to. I'm really over the moon.
Well, it's 10 years.
Yeah.
Got to celebrate. It's got to be the most important British landscape, and I think we've given it.
But as the artists reach the end of their first hour, it's not ley lines, but sight lines that are their main concern.
It's a bit tricky because the people have arrived, so some of my view is actually blocked a little bit, so I'm kind of waiting for gaps and then getting them in, and then, hopefully it'll be all right.
I'm fairly happy with the composition. I think it's got a sense of something of the history and the weightiness of the stones. Colour will be happening soon, hopefully. Yes.
I'm going up close to the stones and the sort of the textural elements of them. I just can't get rid of the nerves, but I'm just going to sort of do my best to make this the best picture I possibly can.
In Wiltshire, our 3 finalists have been charged with depicting Stonehenge, one of the world's most recognisable and enigmatic ancient monuments. And as characters of all kinds arrive on this hallowed ground, it's the megaliths that continue to captivate.
Susan, they feel like individuals, don't they? I mean, that's the thing. I think it's also because they're quite separate, but they're part of a whole. It's almost like a cluster of
like a community
individual people, that come together.
Yeah.
But I can see you've done that thing of elevating it. You have pushed it all up to the top, haven't you?
Yeah. For me, because the stones are the important thing rather than the sky, I wanted them to have precedence, so the sky will surround them in a gentle way and a complimentary way, hopefully.
A lot of people come here and say it's smaller than they expected, but there's something pretty magical about it.
Well, we have had the advantage of being allowed into the magic circle, and suddenly its sort of prehistoric magnificence is really palpable, isn't it? I mean, it really is a special place.
It feels like a temple.
Yes. And then suddenly we're on the outside and there's thousands of tourists.
Yeah.
So to find a way into it that feels profound and captures that sense of prehistory and spirituality, and it's a big one. Also, the site, I mean, it's very difficult because it is situated in absolute emptiness. So you then just have these very flat stones. The sun isn't out. You know, I'm always talking about making paintings use contrast, you use color, you use light and dark, and none of this is happening today. So the stuff you're working with is the stones, their story and their texture. So it's a very different way of dealing with landscape.
It's a dangerous something like this, that, you know, this is a special place and it has a spooky-dooky quality to it that I want to show you that's, you know... So is that a trap that's potentially there, or are they too good for that?
They're too good for that.
Yeah. I'm not. I'd have a massive druid, long flowing hair, sun.
Ben, this has got a lovely, strange quality to it. Maybe it's to do with your approach, which is stone by stone.
Yeah.
Talk to me about that.
It's a technique that I've developed where I can push the paint in so I can get these sort of really interesting brush marks that kind of look quite rocky.
And obviously you don't want to keep painting over that because it would kind of ruin the lovely mark making.
Yeah, 100%. It's like one pass and that's it almost. And otherwise it's
tricky. So is there anything you've learnt from being with us? Things about time, nerves, stress?
Personally, that's sort of the whole reason I do landscapes is because of the show. Before watching it, I hadn't ever even sort of thought about doing it. The programme itself has been so much a part of how I paint and how I've sort of tried to develop myself.
Well, you're welcome. We take full credit.
Kieran, you're doing your weird stuff again. I mean...
Am I?
Yeah, I just love the fact that you found a way of finding an atypical view. I think that's always remarkable about your work. And your tonal range is always very low. Here, tonal range is really narrow, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is that what you like, maybe?
I do like that, yeah. Because it's kind of a bit of a challenge not to go, you know, too high or low against each other.
Also, your work always has an underlying menace or darkness or narrative. And I mean, this place is, of course, full of narrative.
Yeah.
Is it something you're doing consciously?
I think I'm just responding. There's something about this place, like, it's clearly ancient.
Yes.
You know, I hope it'll just kind of naturally come through anyway.
Predating even the pyramids, Stonehenge is one of the world's most important archaeological sites. It's constructed mainly from 2 types of stones. The smaller inner rocks are called bluestones, and the larger outer slabs, sarsen stones.
The sarsen stones came from the Marlborough Downs, about 20 miles away. And the bluestones, they came from the Preseli Hills in Pembrokeshire in Wales, which is 180 miles away. For reasons that we don't completely understand, the people who moved to Stonehenge felt the power of the stones was so important that they dragged them over land all that distance.
Though archaeologists have learnt much about their origins, the stone's exact purpose remains less clear.
We know it started off as a cremation site, a burial site, and it's a solar and lunar temple. We know that there was particular activities around winter when there was large sacrifice of animals and big feasting activities. So it looks like the winter solstice was particularly important.
As new discoveries are made, it was revealed recently the altar stone came from northeast Scotland. Our understanding of Stonehenge as an enduring site of spiritual and seasonal celebration continues to evolve.
It's absolutely unique in terms of world monuments and world heritage. There's nowhere else that looks like it. It's instantly recognizable. You have to come here, really, to experience it.
As the artists reach the end of their second hour, the crowds are now out in force.
So many people. Because the stones are like the centerpiece of the whole painting, they need to be kind of absolutely right first off. So yeah, just got to keep going.
The stones are a puzzle. I'm trying to work out a way of differentiating them. That's quite tricky at the moment because it's not at all defined. So that's what I'm most worried about, I guess.
I think the biggest challenge is the light. I'm trying to look back at the first drawing I did and just make sure I keep like what was quite dark, and not lose that feeling that I had this morning.
Amid thousands of visitors, 3 artists, Kieran, Susan and Ben, are depicting the ancient megalithic site of Stonehenge. And halfway through the competition, cracks are beginning to show.
The textures of the rocks are working really well, but I find doing a painting under these kind of circumstances is really draining, so keeping my head in the game is probably my biggest challenge.
I have been building out a certain amount of colour and hopefully depth. I think it's working, but I hope that I'll still be happy at the end.
Look at this.
I know.
Crazy.
Yeah.
5,000 years.
Yeah.
Roughly.
It's mad.
And can you tell whether you're on good form or not with the brush?
Kind of. Like some days, yeah. Some days you'll just have a terrible day. Hopefully,
please don't
today
have a
won't be
terrible day.
But it's just, I think if I'm enjoying what I'm painting, it'll be fine.
Yeah. That's a good attitude. Well, these stones have seen some things over the years, but they've never seen a final of Landscape Artist of the Year.
No. They've been hugely inspirational, I think. Having said that, I think all 3 artists are going through a bit of a dodgy patch.
Oh, really?
Oh, you don't?
Well, I think they've all found their own little ways through, and they're all 3 very, very different. So I think they're doing fine.
I know what you mean, but I think Ty's right. I don't think any of them are doing the wrong thing, but it's just we're at that stage of the day where their paintings are all shifting slightly.
So Susan's painting is throbbing with her usual intensity. How's she getting on?
Yeah, I mean, Susan started with an orange that we've seen before, and I thought her compositional choices in the beginning were very good, and I liked the way the black was going on. It's got this immediacy. I can feel the weight and the history of those stones. But she's starting to respond what's in front of her rather than what she felt when she went into the stones this morning and gone away from that initial sort of roughness. And so I miss that.
I mean, I will say, where's these extraordinary, powerful skies? So instead of a sky, she's given us this kind of foreground, and I'm confused. I'm like, how are you going to make this the drama?
Ben has given us stones hovering in isolation at the moment.
I keep on thinking about an Isaac Asimov book cover from the 1970s, where you've got these strange monolithic forms, as if you're in space and they're all going to go whoosh.
Problem, I think, is because he hasn't put the grass in. So once that comes in, I think we'll be back down to earth again.
Right.
But it's amazing watching the way his paint moves on that smooth surface. And that compositional device is he wanted the viewer to be surrounded by the stones and drawn in. But at the moment, it does look strangely graphic.
Kieran's is the only one that you look at and might need to be told that it's Stonehenge.
Isn't he brilliant? He always finds the corner that makes it unreadable.
The weird little good bit. Like, his paint application isn't in and of itself interesting, like Susan's and like Ben's, but it's the way that he conjures a picture that it makes it feel arresting.
I also think that he's more interested in what he sees through the gaps and that dark presence of that large stone. I think that's going to become more and more textured as time goes by. I think when he's done that, you'll be able to read it more. The balance is off at the moment.
So, yeah, you won't be judging solely on the work they produced today. We've got the semi-final, we've got the heats, we've got the submission. And, of course, they've all been asked in the last couple of weeks to go away and paint a commission.
The commissions can change everything, because ultimately what we're always doing is sort of taking all these puzzle pieces together and trying to get a real sense of who the artist was last time we saw them, who they were today, and who they're going to be in the future. And that's how you find the winner. And, yeah, I mean, it's all to play for.
For their commissions, each of our finalists was tasked with producing a landscape close to their home to showcase what they can achieve outside the rigours of a 4-hour competition. Ben, who lives in Surrey, has decided on a lake in Walton-upon-Thames.
It's such a tranquil place for me where I like to sort of go canoeing and have a stroll around the lake. So, yeah, it's a big part of my everyday. I'm drawn to some really nice trees and also this island, which I think is going to be a key feature in the painting.
Meanwhile, Susan has chosen a spot on her family's farm in Nottinghamshire.
I've lived here with my husband for 30-odd years and brought up our 3 daughters. It's very important to us both. What draws me to this view is the dramatic pylon, combined with the perspective lines of the wires that lead eventually to the Staythorpe power station beyond it.
In Dublin, Kieran found inspiration right on his doorstep.
What I've decided to paint for my commission is the trees in the garden. So one is the tree down there, which our children always climbed when they were young. And the other trees are these fig trees, which my father-in-law gave us as little cuttings. So those trees are, you know, a bit of him that's still here. What I'm really drawn to is the fig leaf shape, but I'm also drawn to the branches in that dark area. They're going to be a bit subtle and a little bit of mystery, which I always like.
Compositionally, this sketch is helping me kind of get an idea of what I want to do and perhaps the shape of the canvas. I want some kind of foreground foliage, maybe a tree, try and create a lot of depth in the picture.
What I'm learning from the sketch I'm doing at the moment is how much to be illustrative about the pylon I'm painting and how much to let abstraction take its course.
So far, I've just been doing a couple of quick sketches to see if this view I'm thinking of doing will work. I was thinking of doing a diptych because it feels like there's 2 parts.
What I'm pleased about today is the cloudscape that I'm getting. Whether I'm going to be able to contrast that with the pylon, I might try to do that. Yeah, very, very exciting.
What I'm aiming to achieve is just to capture the vitality of that tree. It's a beautiful tree, beautiful leaves, full of life.
I'm hoping it's got a sort of a surreal, abstract vibe to it, and just that it's in keeping with my style, basically. I'm ready to go.
The final paintings will be revealed to the judges at the end of today's challenge.
been looking at close-up binoculars.
Night at the opera.
What are you checking out?
So I'm looking at the stones to try and find the textures in them.
Right.
And I'm now scratching in certain marks that hopefully indicate something about the rock face of the stones.
And birds. Look at them now. Look at them all coming in.
That's terrific, isn't it?
It's like they're having a sort of annual general meeting.
Yes, yes.
Kieran, do you have a sense of what this picture is? Are you still slightly finding it?
I'm still finding it a bit. I guess I'm just going to keep going with the rocks, and then I think I'll have to do some work on lighting.
It's quite a dark picture. I mean, you tend to work dark to light anyway, don't you?
I do, yeah. This morning it was really dark. It was more silhouetted. So I'm hoping to bring that up in time.
And would you prefer it to stay cloudy like this?
I wanted to stay like this now, yeah.
OK, I'll organise it.
What brings you here today?
Well, Ben's my son, and we've come to support him, really.
How's he getting on?
He's very well, I think.
Sue paints as well.
Do you?
An illustrator.
Right. So have you been giving any advice during the course of the day?
No, not really.
No, you haven't got a megaphone under there. You're just going to shout out. The rock on the right.
I did ask him to look at the lichen on the stone.
Yeah, the lichen is stunning, isn't it?
It
kind
is.
of the variety and the colours.
What would you liken it to?
Absolutely.
I'll do the jokes, thanks very much. I'll do the gags around here.
That's really good.
But the contest entering its 4th hour is no laughing matter.
I've left the sky till last, and I don't know if that's the right thing to have done. My biggest worry now is getting the sky in there and it looking good.
Got to finish these rocks in the front. The foreground isn't really done. It's hard to believe we're in the final hour. I don't know where that's gone, but it's gone, so to deal with it.
Put the sky in now, and it's sort of gone as planned. The danger is you just keep working and you don't give yourself that break to see it afresh. It'd be nice to sleep on it, but we can't do that.
At Stonehenge, 3 artists, Kieran, Susan and Ben, are into the closing stages of their final challenge. But which of them will be anointed the high priest or priestess of landscape painting?
15 minutes left, Kieran.
15 minutes left?
Yeah.
OK.
Do you want to spend the next 15 minutes chatting with me?
Sure, yeah. I do need to get this done.
Right.
And then stand back.
I'll let you get on then. There's very little time left.
All right, thanks a mil.
Ben, the stones have landed.
Yeah, they're where they're supposed to be.
And you've bleached out the background, so we don't see any trees on the hill or anything else.
Yeah, I mean, I would probably put clouds in, but there's no way I'm going to have time now.
OK. I like it with that. I think especially works with regards to that light sort of coming through.
You've captured it. That's beautiful.
Thank you.
There's a beautiful sense about it, which is Stonehenge is all about.
It's got a very primal feeling about it, hasn't it? If they'd said to me, where would you like to paint? I'd have said, can we do that?
Wow.
Artists, the henge is nigh. You have 5 minutes left. 5 minutes.
Wow. Just adding bits of texture and stuff like that. I'm sort of happy with how it's looking. Hopefully the judges will like it too.
My biggest worry is that I will turn around and come back and think it's appalling. So, yeah, perhaps I won't look at it fresh from now on. It'll be what it'll be.
I've just got to tidy up the edges. Basically, just try not to overwork it is the main thing at this stage.
Artists, for the last time, your time is up and your challenge is over. Please stop what you're doing and step away from your artworks.
It's been a really, really interesting and lovely day. I've done the best I could have done, so, you know, that's all I can ask for.
Tired, excited. You kind of get this like, whoa, when you're done. But I really enjoyed it. It was a brilliant place to paint, amazing place to paint.
This whole experience has been magical. I'm sure nerves will start to kick in really badly once we're standing in front of the paintings.
Today's winner won't just be bestowed with the title Landscape Artist of the Year, they'll also receive a £10,000 commission for London's Courtauld Gallery and travel to the south of France, a region that inspired some of the greats of late 19th century painting.
I think in the case of the Impressionist and Post-Impressionist artists who went down to the south of France, it really stretched the way that they used the brush, the way that they used colour, and that was what really underpinned the fact that they transformed approaches to landscape painting during that period. We're hoping that the artist that takes on this commission will be somebody that is really deeply engaged with the landscape, that wants to do something fresh and original, because it's exactly those qualities that really run through the work of Monet and Van Gogh and Cézanne, and the reason that their work is so enduring.
I did really enjoy it, I did.
While our artists ready themselves for what's to come, our judges now have the opportunity to see their 3 commission paintings for the first time.
Wow. Oh, wow. That is extraordinary.
Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. When you look at Susan's, I love the way the rows of the tussocks in the grass are sort of leading you in so beautifully. There's intensity, but there's also always movement in her work.
And the way she uses paint to tell different stories, you can feel the electricity coming off that pylon, with the light around it. But we haven't seen her create this much space and clarity in space.
I think my commission piece conveyed what I wanted it to. Have we done enough to win? I have no idea. I will wait and see.
We talked before about Ben making work that looks like a weaving or a tapestry. I mean, and the texture in this is just sublime, and the way that he pushes and pulls, like he disrupts his own rules, doesn't he? The birch does that, these lily pads do that in the foreground.
And those trees are extraordinary. I mean, they just are so alive. The limbs work, the bunches of leaves work. And I've never seen trees rendered like this, so it's a completely new language.
So with the commission, I wanted there to be sort of a lot of space to look through and a lot of depth and texture, which was quite challenging, actually, but I was sort of happy with the result in the end.
And Kieran, I think, as we know he can do the figurative really well, but he's just gone bigger and bolder and richer.
Yeah.
And the variation of greens across that foliage, it's so effective.
But also, and it's so narrative-driven. You feel like someone's just sort of had a cigarette and stormed out of the scene. There's been a fight or something, or it feels loaded with energy to me.
And to do it as a diptych, I mean, that's clever as well, isn't it?
I like when you can do a painting that, you know, has some sort of mystery in it, or something that makes you think, you know, what's around the corner. I like the way the tree turned out. Yeah, I wanted it kind of moody.
Now, in the shadow of Stonehenge, it's time for the final act of our 10th anniversary competition.
So today's pictures placed beside the commissions. The first thing I noticed when we put them all together is how they're all keen to show us that they can work on a bigger scale.
It's so satisfying, isn't it? We really get a sense of 3 distinct artists who all know who they are. They've found a language, but within that language, there's lots of different ways of exploiting their talents.
Yeah, and all of them, they've all done something very special with today.
Susan applies a lot of paint. Do you think that would become predictable after a while?
They're 2 very different paintings. Yes, the way the paint goes on the palette, to a certain extent, a lot of use of black, are very similar, but that sort of distant light is very different to the stones today, which are sort of obdurate, they are old, they are ancient. So it's a very different feel she gets from this very narrow language.
I think Susan has found her style. And actually, I don't think she should be marked down because it's so particular. You know, we can recognise a Van Gogh. That doesn't mean it's a bad thing.
Ben seems to be interested in surfaces, grass, water.
Yeah.
He seems to really enjoy getting involved with that.
You know, it's very easy with an artist like Ben that he descends into an obsession with the patterns, but the pattern is very, very secondary here. It doesn't overwhelm, and that's a really hard balance. But the wonderful thing about the painting today is that it's truly ancient. You know, you can feel the texture of those stones, even though it looks very, very modern.
Is today's painting
So
too illustrative?
I feel like today's painting has more of a graphic quality, but I actually admire him for doing that because he's showing us that he's got a different reference point. There's nothing graphic in the commission. I mean, it's all so loose, whereas this has got these, like, sharp lines, which give it a real bang. I mean, you stop in your tracks and you look at this painting.
So, Kieran, does the thought of sending someone who uses such limited palette to the south of France, is that come into your minds?
It does in a way, but I don't think it's that we're looking for an artist to be so literal as to be an impressionist of the south of France. And this colour palette that he uses creates these sort of quite intense scenes. I think he's got an extraordinary talent. Does it scream south of France? No, but that kind of makes me want to send him even more, because I'm like, I want to see it through his eyes.
Kieran uses the language that is traditional. He paints green leaves and they're drawn in the right way, but then he does something with it, and it is the narrative he finds it. It is the weird framing. It's, you know, it's a painting of Stonehenge, but nobody recognises it as Stonehenge. So he's doing different things, and it makes the whole endeavour feel very contemporary.
Tough, tough, tough. I mean, how exciting to have three such brilliant artists, but also, what a nightmare if you're one of the judges, which apparently we are.
Susan, Ben, Kieran, thank you for all your hard work this summer. It's been an absolute joy watching you all progress through the competition. You are all wonderfully talented artists, but the judges have made their final decision. The winner of Landscape Artist of the Year is... Ben McGregor.
I don't know what did just happen. I just can't believe it. I'm in absolute shock. To win the whole show, bearing in mind how much it sort of means to me and how much it sort of meant to my journey as an artist, I just couldn't think of anything bigger than this.
You know, I thought Ben's work looked really interesting. I did glance over it during the day, and I did think, oh, that looks good. So, yeah, I think they have made a good choice.
This competition has been affirming for me. I kind of went full-time on this a year ago. To make it to the final of Landscape Artist of the Year, couldn't ask for a better kind of anniversary of doing this full-time, you know?
What a great day, but what a terribly difficult decision.
So difficult. I think the calibre of artists in this competition now and this sort of 10-year anniversary, I mean, yeah, it was really, really challenging. And I think they've each got a distinct language. I would say that I think Ben has a slightly broader range with his language. I mean, he's a dream artist to send to the south of France.
And what's nice, it's about light, but it's about texture. I don't see artists deal with landscape in a textural way before. I think that's really new. So I think we're excited about seeing what he's going to do.
And I sort of feel like a lot of it is to do with the show, because, you know, he came to landscape paintings through the show. And I'm really excited at the idea of seeing one of his works hanging in the Courtauld Gallery. Because I think it's really going to stop you in your tracks, you know, because it's going to be in amongst those Impressionist paintings on the top floor. I'm going to feel really proud.
Yeah, me too.
I'm pretty obsessed with Impressionism. You know, I've spent hours just staring at Van Goghs and Cézannes, and so for me, having a piece hanging in the Courtauld Gallery is about as prestigious as you can possibly get. I've always really, really tried to be, you know, the best possible painter I could be. There's been a lot of hard work and a lot of sort of self-doubt, so to have all that kind of validated is priceless.
Next time, Ben travels to the south of France.
The mountain has just appeared on the landscape.
I mean, that is pretty incredible, isn't it?
To follow in the brushstrokes of some of the greats of art history.
Monet said that the sky is so blue, look at the sky, that you can dive in it.
Before his painting's grand unveiling at the Courtauld Gallery in London.
Should we put you out of your misery?
Go for it.
Here we go.